Hi, I'm Kevin and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna make fruit leather and I'm gonna make two different kinds, banana mango and raspberry. So here we are in the new kitchen. I spent a good part of my summer putting this together, and as I'm getting back to shooting some of my food videos and my dehydration videos, I thought let's try and use the kitchen as a bit of a set for these videos. Let me know what you think. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna grab some ingredients. Like I said, I'm gonna make a banana mango and a raspberry fruit leather. And not only am I gonna make two kinds, but I'm gonna show you how to mix them on the same tray to create a pretty cool effect. So you don't really need much equipment for this. You do need a blender or a food processor, one or the other, to blend together your ingredients. And then you're gonna need a dehydrator to dry the fruit leather. So let's get started. I'm gonna grab a couple bananas first for my banana mango fruit leather. Just regular ripe bananas. You can use frozen ones if you have some that were frozen in the fridge. I'm gonna put 3 in this. 3 or 4 usually makes a good recipe. These could be a little bit riper, but they're gonna work. They're certainly gonna work. 1 and 2. There, we got our bananas ready to go. Now we need some mangoes. You could use fresh mangoes like this. That would not be a problem. However, I find it takes a little bit more time to peel and process, and fresh fruit is usually a little bit more expensive than frozen. So I'm gonna reach into the freezer and grab 1 package of frozen mangoes. I find this is just a lot cheaper and very, very easy when I'm in a hurry to dehydrate some stuff. All right, so we got bananas and mangoes. We're gonna add some other things. Number 1, we're gonna add some applesauce. This is unsweetened applesauce. And I'm gonna add about 2 cups to this blender. The applesauce is gonna give you a thicker fruit leather that'll be more pliable. There's some fiber in the applesauce for sure that'll help hold that fruit leather together. The mango should have some fiber as well. But the really important thing that applesauce contains is pectin. Pectin is the stuff that makes jams and jellies thick, and it's gonna help your fruit leather remain thick as it dries, giving you a nice pliable fruit leather when you're done. And we're gonna add 2 more ingredients to this. We're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. That's gonna help the fruit leather maintain its color and give it a little bit of acidity, about 2 tablespoons worth. And some honey. Again, about 2 tablespoons worth of honey. We're just gonna put that in there. There, that's looking good. So the honey is gonna do a couple of things. Number 1, it's gonna add a little bit of natural sweetness, which will enhance the flavor just a little bit. We don't want to kill the mango and banana flavor, but just a little bit of sugar is going to help. And the honey is also going to help the fruit leather remain pliable. You don't want fruit leather that comes out and is very brittle and breaks. You want a nice pliable fruit leather that you can roll up and package and take with you. All right, so this is ready to go. Let's put the lid on this and blend it up. Now, sometimes when you got a lot of solids, the blender doesn't take right away, so you might have to either tamp it down or add a little bit of water. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, all my solids are stuck in the top of this blender, so let's add the plunger. All right, that's looking good. Let's shut her off and give this a little bit of a taste. That is really, really good. That would make a great smoothie with a little bit of yogurt and some milk to thin it out, but this is also going to make a great fruit leather. So what I'm gonna need next is a tray to dry this on. This is my dehydrator tray. This is from my Excalibur dehydrator. It's square and has this black plastic structure to it and this little thin mesh. That mesh isn't going to hold my fruit leather, so I'm going to use a Teflon liner. This is an aftermarket item that I bought that fits my tray perfectly. You could use, if you don't want to use the Teflon, you could also get these silicone aftermarket trays, these liners which have a bit of a lip on them, and that lip is going to help liquids from spilling off. This stuff is thick enough that this Teflon liner will work just fine. So now I'm going to spread this out, and if I was making a one flavor fruit leather, I would just spread it out perfectly across this tray. But I'm going to try and mix two different flavors together in kind of an interesting way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this down onto my tray in rows. They don't have to be perfect. I'm trying to get this material about a 1/4 inch thick. And just a couple rows here. 3 or 4 rows of the mango fruit leather mixture. There, that's looking pretty good. Maybe a dollop, one more dollop here in the corner. There, that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the rest of this mixture out on some other trays, and then I'm going to get on with making my raspberry fruit leather mixture. All right, so let's get on with making the raspberry fruit leather. I'm not even going to wash out my blender. I find that the raspberry flavor is stronger than the mango, and getting a little bit of that mango in with your raspberry fruit leather mix doesn't make a difference. Might make a difference if you go the other way around because the raspberry is a bit stronger. Let's get some raspberries. We're going to need some frozen raspberries. This time, since it's a pure one fruit mix, we're going to just use 2 of these bags. Again, these are 400 gram bags. I'm going to need some scissors, and I'm going to dump these in. The raspberries are ready to go in the blender. Next, we're going to add those same ingredients we did to the mango banana fruit leather to ensure that we maintain the color and that we maintain the pliability of the fruit leather later. First is going to be a couple cups of applesauce. I'm going to use the rest of this container. There we go. Applesauce. A couple tablespoons of lemon juice. And you can use real lemons or you can use this stuff. I like to have a bottle of this in my fridge at all times in case I don't have actual lemons. And then a couple tablespoons of the honey. Nice. Okay. As Jamie Oliver says, we're going to waz this up. Again, we're going to need to pound this down a little bit with the plunger here and maybe add some water. We'll see. So it's not blending well. I'm going to add just a little bit of water, maybe half a cup, just to get things going. Adding water doesn't hurt this at all. It's just going to take a little bit longer to dehydrate. There, that was a bit of a challenge to get going, but once it did, it turned out quite well. Again, I'm going to give this a bit of a taste. That's really, really good. Very, very strong raspberry flavor. A little bit tart. Okay, next I'm going to pour this onto my dehydrator tray. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, just fill in the gaps. All right, so I'm just going to pour this on. and try and fill those spaces. There, that's looking good. I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit more. And then I'm going to take my spoon. You could use the handle, you could use the spoon itself. I'm going to take my handle and I'm going to just make some cool lines in it. Whatever you want to do. You could crisscross a little bit if you wanted to. Whatever, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to spread that out a little bit just so there's no gaps anywhere. Maybe just sculpt the edges a little bit so that it's uniform. Again, fill in a few of the holes. And again, I'm going for a thickness of about 1/4 of an inch. This is probably a little bit more, maybe 1/2 inch, that's fine. Now I'm going to throw this in the dehydrator at 135 Fahrenheit. Probably leave it overnight, and by morning I should have some really cool looking and really great tasting fruit leather, a mixture of mango, banana, and raspberry. Every bite's going to be a little bit different. Let's see how it turns out. These recipes and over 100 more can be found in my book, Backcountry Eats. The book is loaded with recipes for the backcountry, and the front half is all about how to dehydrate food, how to select a dehydrator, and how to plan meals for your backcountry trip. You can find Backcountry Eats on Amazon or at my website, backcountryeats.com. That's backcountry-eats.com. So I've got that mixed tray going in the dehydrator, and I did a batch just the other day. Mixed it a little bit differently, but here it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it off of the tray and away from this Teflon sheet. It should come off nicely. It dehydrated overnight. It took about 12 hours. Dehydration times are going to vary quite a bit depending on the relative humidity of where you are. But as you can see, this turned out pretty good. I've got a few gaps in it, but it's very pliable. It's a little bit sticky, but it's very pliable and should roll up just fine. I'm going to taste a little bit here. This is a raspberry bit. It's really, really good. Tastes just like raspberries. And mango, excellent. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to eat this right away. I'm going to save this for my summer trips. So I'm going to get a knife and I'm just going to cut this into thirds. Now to store these, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll these up. You can cut them any thickness you want. Just going to roll it up fairly tight. And then I'm going to grab a Ziploc bag. So there you go, fruit leather in a bag. I'm going to pop this in the freezer over winter. Next spring when I want to go on a trip, I'm going to pull this out, let it thaw, pack it away in my food bag or barrel, and I'm going to have some tasty snacks for myself in the backcountry next year.